Hey everyone, welcome to Comic Yahud, your place for classic comic stories. Today's episode, Tintin and the Blue Lotus, Chapter 9. Let's dive in. Triumphant, the detective rushes into the room, waving the recovered document high above his head and declaring its discovery to the others. The recipient of the document reads it with eyes wide, an exclamation of surprise escaping his lips. The unexpected contents seem to have shocked him, his grip tightening on the paper. Confusion spreads across the faces of those around as they attempt to comprehend the situation, their expressions full of questions. Meanwhile, the reader bursts into laughter, the seriousness of the moment dissipating into unexpected mirth. A man in a blue uniform pores over a document with sudden realization, his exclamation suggesting a breakthrough in understanding the situation. His eyes widen as the weight of his discovery hits him. Thompson and Thompson, dressed in elaborate yellow robes, express confusion about the sudden laughter, their faces showing a mix of bewilderment and irritation. Next to them, Tintin stands quietly, observing the exchange with a sense of curiosity. The man in blue, still chuckling, dismissively hands back the document, his laughter echoing as he advises them to leave quickly. The soldiers march with determination, as the both detectives face twisted with frustration as they lament their disgraceful situation. As the soldiers confront the detectives in a yellow robe, their agitation escalates, accusing the soldiers of monstrous deeds. The tension rises as they forcibly escort them away, their cries of protest echoing in the air. The detectives in similar robes, now free, stride with purpose, declaring the need to act and inform Shanghai of the unfolding events. Their resolute expressions reveal their determination to set things right amidst the chaos. Inside the superintendent's office, Tintin stands before a uniformed officer who, with a gesture of authority, grants him his freedom. Tintin, expressing gratitude, acknowledges the superintendent's decision with a respectful nod. Emerging from the building, Tintin is greeted by the eager and hopeful face of his friend, Chang. Snowy bounds joyfully between them, sensing the newfound freedom and excitement in the air. Tintin, still puzzled by his release, recounts the superintendent's unexpected reaction to a mysterious paper. Chang reveals with a knowing smile that he orchestrated the whole affair by cleverly switching the document, leaving Tintin both astonished and relieved. With a mischievous smile, Chang recounts how he cleverly replaced the document with a humorous note, proving their innocence in a unique way. His playful ingenuity leaves Tintin both grateful and amused by his friend's quick thinking and daring spirit. Tintin embraces Chang warmly, acknowledging his friend's loyalty and cleverness with heartfelt gratitude. Snowy looks on, wagging his tail, as Tintin realizes the depth of Chang's friendship and resourcefulness. Reflecting on the situation, Tintin expresses concern for Thompson and Thompson, but Chang reassures him with a chuckle, suggesting they deserved a taste of their own medicine. The two friends share a knowing smile, their bond stronger than ever amidst the chaos. Thompson and Thompson stand at the telegraph office, urgently requesting a message be sent to the chief of police in Shanghai. The clerk looks bewildered by their request. Meanwhile, Tintin and Chang, accompanied by Snowy, discuss the need to find Professor Fang Xing despite the impending storm. Back at the telegraph office, the lines are reported cut due to floods, forcing Thompson and Thompson to consider traveling to Shanghai themselves. Their frustration is evident, yet they remain resolved to proceed with their mission. Chang and Tintin stand amidst the growing storm, realizing the danger and deciding to retreat. Their faces show concern as they agree to find safety from the impending tempest. With determination, they swiftly make their way back down the rocky path, the howling wind and flashes of lightning urging their hurried descent. The treacherous terrain adds to their urgency, each step a race against the storm's fury. Meanwhile, in Hukou, a dove is released from a window, its wings flapping towards freedom amidst the chaos. The scene shifts, suggesting a message of hope or warning being sent into the tumultuous world beyond. High above, the dove battles the storm, its path illuminated by flashes of lightning as it bravely carries its urgent message through the turbulent skies. Inside, Mitsuharado eagerly awaits, his eyes fixed on the window as the dove, drenched but determined, arrives with news of Tintin's supposed arrest. Mitsuharado's expression shifts from expectation to shock as he reads the message, learning that Tintin's arrest has failed and new instructions are urgently needed. Mitsuharado, gripped by anger and urgency, furiously pens a letter demanding the elimination of his obstacles, determined to end Tintin's interference once and for all. With a swift motion, Mitsuharado releases a carrier pigeon from the window, sending the fateful message into the sky with a heart pounding with anticipation. Meanwhile, Thompson and Thompson, disguised and weary from their overnight journey, grumble about the arduous trip and curse the commissar responsible for their predicament. The next morning, Tintin and Chang stand on a rocky path, gazing at the distant silhouette of an ancient temple nestled among jagged mountains. Chang points out the temple, acknowledging its significance as the one they had heard about. As they approach the temple, Tintin remarks on the influx of tourists, noting a photographer setting up his equipment. Snowy trots alongside them, curious about the bustling activity around the sacred site. The photographer cheerfully offers to take a picture of Tintin and Chang, promising a quick 5-minute turnaround. They agree with a nod, intrigued by the idea of capturing their visit amidst the sacred and serene surroundings. Tintin and Chang stand together, their expressions filled with camaraderie as Snowy sits faithfully by their side, poised for the photograph. The photographer, hidden beneath a dark cloth, adjusts the camera with an air of anticipation as the tranquil garden surrounds them. The photographer emerges from his setup with a wide grin, urging them to watch the birdie with an exaggerated enthusiasm. His words hang in the air, adding a playful tension to the moment as Tintin and Chang focus their gaze. Suddenly, the camera erupts with loud bangs, startling the serene atmosphere. Smoke billows as the photographer seems unperturbed, leaving Tintin and Chang in a state of shock. Tintin and Chang are thrown off their feet by the unexpected explosion, their expressions frozen in shock as Snowy barks wildly, adding to the chaos. The tranquil garden is now a scene of confusion and disbelief as they try to process the sudden turn of events. The photographer frantically fiddles with the camera, muttering curses at the malfunctioning contraption, his frustration boiling over as he reveals the Tommy gun within the camera. The sinister nature of the device is now apparent, and his calm demeanor is replaced by agitation. Chang, with newfound determination, charges at the photographer, causing them both to stumble and the camera to topple. The balance of power shifts dramatically as the confrontation escalates. As the struggle continues, the photographer, filled with anger, seizes Chang by the arm, his threatening words cutting through the air. Snowy leaps into action, determined to assist his friend in this tense confrontation. Snowy bravely jumps at the photographer, biting his arm, creating a flurry of motion but the man knocking him off balance. Chang takes the opportunity to regain his footing, the determination in his eyes growing stronger. Tintin appears suddenly, his voice commanding as he points a gun at the photographer, demanding submission. The balance of power shifts once more as Tintin takes control of the escalating situation. With a fierce determination, Tintin confronts the man, demanding answers about Mitsuharado's involvement. The man's fear is palpable as Tintin's accusation strikes a nerve, and the truth hangs in the air, waiting to be revealed. The man confesses, revealing that Mitsuharado fears the Rajaja poison and believes the professor can create an antidote, hence the kidnapping. Tintin's suspicions grow, and he presses further about the letter accusing Chinese gangsters. The man admits the ransom letter was a fake, designed to mislead the police. Tintin, filled with frustration, realizes he should have anticipated such deception. Tintin, his heart pounding with urgency, questions the man about Professor Fang Xiying's whereabouts, only to be met with ignorance. The man's evasive answer fuels Tintin's frustration as he realizes their lead has gone cold. Accusations fly as Tintin, desperate for truth, calls out the man's deceit, demanding honesty. The man, trembling and cornered, insists that only Mitsuharado holds the key to the professor's location, leaving Tintin in a whirlwind of doubt. Resolute but anxious, Tintin decides to return to Hukao, his mind racing with possibilities, as Chang reassures him about the minor injury. The relief of knowing the bullet only grazed his shoulder gives Tintin a momentary sense of calm amid the chaos. As Tintin and Chang walk down a rocky path, accompanied by Snowy, they discuss the fate of their captured adversary, trusting the local police to handle him. Tintin feels a rush of determination, knowing their next move must bring them closer to Mitsuharado. Standing outside a building, Tintin proposes a daring plan to Chang, suggesting they confront Mitsuharado directly. Chang's enthusiastic agreement fuels Tintin's resolve, as Snowy looks on with alert curiosity. With renewed vigor, Tintin, Chang, and Snowy set off towards Shanghai, eager to face the challenges ahead. Their hearts are filled with determination as they embark on this crucial journey. Tintin and Chang stand on the platform, watching the approaching train with anticipation, as Snowy waits eagerly by their side. Their hearts race with the promise of reaching Shanghai, a pivotal step in their daring quest. Inside the train, Thompson and Thompson sit wearily, contemplating the long journey ahead and exchanging tired remarks about their adventurous lives. Their expressions reveal a mix of determination and exhaustion, underscoring the gravity of their mission. As the train stops, a man disembarks with a determined expression, gripping his luggage tightly. Tintin and Chang stand nearby, waiting for him to clear the doorway. Suddenly, one of the detectives appears in the doorway, holding a cane and suitcase. The detective, along with Tintin and Chang, is visibly surprised by the unexpected encounter. Reacting quickly, Tintin and Chang dash along the platform with Snowy following close behind, their hearts pounding with anticipation. The detective attempts to pursue them, his cane swinging and suitcase clutched tightly. In his haste, the detective missteps and tumbles forward, his belongings scattering as he lands with a thud. As another detective attempts to justify the mishap, claiming it was merely a silly accident. Later, in a quiet room, a detective lies in bed, bandaged and slowly regaining consciousness while another sits by his side, relieved to see him stirring. The detective recalls the fall, his mind swirling with fragmented images of the suitcase and the platform. Suddenly, he bolts upright, a sense of urgency in his voice as he calls out for Tintin, his face etched with worry and determination. The room echoes with his cry, amplifying the mystery and drawing others' attention to his plight. The urgency intensifies as a detective in a hospital bed, his face bandaged, urgently informs another detective about Tintin waiting on the platform for a train. The other detective, now fully aware of the impending departure, dashes through the corridor, his thoughts consumed by the train's imminent journey to Shanghai. His pace reflects the mounting pressure to reach Tintin before it's too late. As the train begins its departure, Tintin on board anxiously peers out the window, hoping their pursuer fails to catch up. Desperation fuels the detective as he dashes after the departing train, his cane clutched tightly in hand. Behind him, a station worker waves frantically, urging him to stop. Undeterred, he pushes forward, his eyes fixed on the train as it picks up speed, but the gap between them widens. Sweat beads on his brow as he reaches out, his chance of catching up slipping away. With a sudden misstep, he tumbles forward, his cane and hat flying as he crashes to the ground in a tangle of limbs. Stars dance around his head, a testament to the hard impact and the missed opportunity. Two detectives lie in hospital beds, their faces bandaged, discussing an urgent telegram to Shanghai to arrest Tintin on arrival. Their conversation is laced with frustration and regret over a missed chance, as they recount the moment they misjudged the platform edge. As dawn breaks, a crowd waits at the station, anxiously scanning the disembarking passengers. Among the murmurs, a voice laments the absence of Tintin, whose presence is now desperately sought but remains elusive. Tension mounts as a frustrated man reports that Tintin was not on the train, suggesting he escaped mid-journey. His superior Dawson, visibly agitated, curses Tintin's knack for evasion, feeling thwarted by the young hero's cleverness. As darkness envelopes the surroundings, Tintin seizes the opportunity, his heart pounding with adrenaline and resolve as he whispers to Snowy that it's time to make their move. Stealthily, Tintin, Chang and Snowy slip out of the train carriage, their footsteps careful and deliberate on the gravelly track, each step taking them further from their pursuers. With the moon casting a pale glow, Tintin scales the wall with Chang and Snowy watching intently, determination etched on his face as he reaches for freedom beyond the railway yard. Tintin and Chang walk briskly, their escape from the train a narrow success, with Snowy trotting beside them. Tintin speaks with relief about their decision to jump, knowing they avoided a potential trap waiting at the barrier. Meanwhile, Mitsuharado listens in frustration to a report of Chief of Police failures over the phone, his voice tinged with disappointment. The chief insists he did his best, but the elusive Tintin has once again slipped through their grasp. Annoyed and determined, Mitsuharado slams the phone down, exclaiming his exasperation with the incompetence of the police. Resolved to take matters into his own hands once more, he prepares for another confrontation. Mitsuharado, with a cigarette in hand, listens intently as a knock echoes through the air, his command sharp as he beckons the visitor inside. The visitor, breathless and anxious, delivers unsettling news about Tintin's presence in Shanghai, accompanied by a Chinese boy. Mitsuharado's eyes narrow in frustration as the incomplete information fuels his determination. Mitsuharado, his voice laced with urgency, instructs Yamato to uncover Tintin's whereabouts and the identities of those sheltering him. The task is clear and imperative, as Yamato nods in understanding, ready to embark on this critical mission. Tintin, seated at a table with Chang and Wang Qinyi, is urged to rest and heal from his wounds. Tintin agrees but insists they must soon confront Mitsuharado, showing determination in his eyes. A week later, Tintin confidently reassures Chang that his injuries have fully healed, flexing his arm to prove his recovery. Chang looks relieved, and they share a moment of camaraderie, their resolve to face the challenges ahead stronger than ever. That night, under the cover of darkness, Tintin and Chang approach Mitsuharado's house. Tintin devises a plan for Chang to stand guard while he sneaks inside, their mission shrouded in secrecy and danger. Tintin hoists himself over the wall with nimble agility, while Chang looks on with a mix of anticipation and worry, clutching a small flashlight. The night air is tense as Tintin vanishes from view, leaving Chang to anxiously await his friend's return. On the other side of wall, Tintin whispers to himself as he surveys the surroundings, noting the absence of any guards or threats. His heart pounds in his chest, but relief washes over him momentarily as he reassures himself of their stealth. Thanks for watching Comic Yahad. Like, subscribe, and catch you in the next chapter.